Ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between, welcome back to another freshie. Today we're going to be diving headfirst into the Lexus IS200, IS300, Toyota JZX high clearance tension rods. We've been ripping into our shop IS more and more these days and wanted, well, more importantly, needed some adjustable castor in our lives so we could do questionable things that questionable adults seem to do in their questionable cars. Now, speaking of adulting, one thing you're going to want to do is to head on over to the product page on our website. Believe it or not, we update this thing like your local newspaper, except we don't have a friendly young man riding his bike by whipping that ish through your window every morning. We hash out all the tech specs, FAQs, assembly guide, and even a nice fresh copy of this amazing install video on said product page. So, if you've read everything you need to read, have all the knowledge, taken your vitamins, spiked your cortisol from doom scrolling, and done your morning stretches, well then you can head on over to installing these bad boys. First step is to familiarize yourself with the task at hand, knowing where these puppies are on your beloved vehicle and what they do. And as you can see, not much. Sitting there, being able to adjust absolutely nothing. Anywho, the actual first step is to hop on down under and zap that bottom brace off by starting with the two front bolts, then the two bolts on both the left and the two bolts on the right hand side. This just leaves the two main bolts that run through the guts of the tension rods holding this thing up, carefully guiding that brace out of your life for now. Now sling that same trusty zapper back over and remove the two bolts that connect the tension rod to the lower control arm, getting those out of the way for now. Now, depending on how your pride and joy has been stored and or treated, your arm might pop off with ease, or if it's like ours and couldn't be budged by the bare grip and weight of a full-grown man with an exceptionally long beard hanging on it, if that makes any difference. Once you've got that boring fossil plopped off your chassis, you can head over to the adjustment segment with us. And like with any adjustable arm, we always recommend you start with the maximum safe length and wind down from there. So at least you know when you're winding it down, you have a safe amount of thread overlap on both the adjuster and the heim joint at the same time. The old two birds, one stone. So in this case, if we were to start at the maximum safe length, it would measure in at 90 millimeters, measuring from the base of the arm to the center of the heim joint, which is then made up of 58 millimeters, measuring from the edge of the extender to the center of the heim. Now, if you were to wind that sucker down from there, like we kindly recommended, to the OEM length, it would measure in at 70 millimeters from the base of the arm to the center of the heim, again made up of 43 millimeters from the edge of the extender to the center of said heim joint. Another option you have is to match up the arm length to your OEM arms by just holding them side by side. Either option is fine, and we do highly recommend getting an alignment after install, which you were totally going to do anyway, right? We're leaving ours at the OEM length and can now move on from here. Before we do, we need to give you the lowdown and the skinny on the accessories that come with these arms. Okay, so firstly, you would have noticed that one insert has a locating inner lip and the other does not have said inner locating lip, deeming that poor little guy lipless, if you will. You will need to install the lipless insert, aka the one with no inner lip, to the OEM stud on the chassis first. That's number one. Then install the tension rod like we are doing on the screen. Now for the bolts at the front, you would have noticed that our arms came with two brand new bolts, one for each side. But before you ask, no, you didn't get shorted any other bolts. There's only meant to be two, so please don't freak out and email us about that, mi amigo. This is done intentionally so that the arm could pivot on the rear side and safely have the room to do so that it can be adjusted on the car. So go ahead and install the supplied brand new bolt on the rear side of the arm that is, yes, intentionally thinner, and use the OEM thicker bolt on the front side of the arm. Now leave those two bolts loose for a moment, as we'll get back to them in just a few. Being as the brace is needed to mount these arms, go ahead and throw that brace back up now, screwing in the front two bolts hand tight, which is to stop the brace from falling on your head. And now is the time to head on to the bottom side of the arm and install the insert that has the locating inner lip. Then throw the main tension rod bolts through the guts all the way up, keeping that assembly hand tight for now. Do the same thing on both sides, then proceed to install the surrounding bolts on either side of the brace that we took off from earlier. Now the reason we kept everything loose is just in case you wanted to do any on-car adjustment. This can be done by putting a ratchet in the back of the adjuster hex and conveniently winding the adjuster whichever direction you see fit. But again, it's super freaking important that you remember those two front bolts need to be loose in order to adjust the arms on the car. So when adjusting the adjuster, it should move freely in either direction. If it gets tight, then you probably reached the maximum adjustment or maxed out the amount that smaller bolt can be pivoted by. Now is the time to do your bearing due diligence and make sure the bearing is not cocked to the left nor to the right, but running central again and always, like my Chi. Once you're happy with where everything is, we can now put a ring on it and begin to lock it all down just like you should have before you let her get away. We're sorry about that. Go ahead and tighten the locking nuts, starting with the smaller one by securing the adjuster on one side, then tightening the smaller locking nut at the front. Then the larger one by jamming a wrench in the notches of the arm and tightening the larger nut. Now get your trusty torque wrench and begin tightening the main tension rod bolt that runs through the guts to the specs shown right here on the screen. Then head on over to the front side of the arm, tighten and torque the smaller supplied rear bolt to the specs listed here as well. Now go ahead and tighten and torque the OEM bolt to the specs listed on the screen below, keeping in mind that both of these bolts do have different torque specs, so don't skip over that part, my dudes, or get them confused, or you'll have a bad time if you do. Go ahead and torque down the remaining brace bolts, the two at the front with the specs shown on the screen, then the two on both the left and right sides to the specs shown here as well. And dudes and dudettes, we are done. You've got castor adjustment, we've got castor adjustment, everybody gets castor adjustment. And we can finally change up our front end to snap around just how we want it. The arm looks great, you look great, you did great, we all did great. Why do I sound like Oprah all of a sudden? Anywho, you did great, and speaking of doing great, this is the team that throws these videos together to educate and or entertain, which is hopefully possible at the same goddamn time. And hey, if you get stuck or need help, we are here for you via electronic mail and or reach out to a professional to do it for you. This has been Officer Dan, Johnny Caps, and DK with another one of the world's best how-to videos. We'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.